This is Breaches, and it can get rather intense. But not in a fast, shootery way. More of a fine wine that requires sipping and enjoying. Breaches is basically one of them tactical shooters where, well, if you're familiar with Rainbow Six, you may be kind of familiar with the type of style that this is. Right in that doorway. You got him. And if you own Breaches, or indeed thinking of getting Breaches, you may want to listen right until the end, because if you want to look flash and stand out a bit from the norm, then I have a key for some DLC. And that's got to be worth a like and subscribe, surely. First up though, what is Breaches? Well, Breaches is one of them games where you basically are on the offensive or the defensive. This means you're either breaching the areas in order to get to a set number of bombs in order to defuse them, which entails you keeping an eye out for any traps, using explosive foam to breach areas, and you can even use grapple hooks to climb up and down different levels of buildings. Or, as you probably guessed, you're on the defensive, which means that you'll be setting all these traps and making sure that your bombs are set to go off, which entails tripwires, keeping your cunning steady, and other different traps in order to either kill or just slow down the enemy. From my personal experience of these sort of games, it's normally either one or the other that are normally better than one or the other. But in Breaches, I actually enjoyed both sides of the coin. I found the game really enjoyable, but most of the time, most of the actual other players do not speak, which is a shame because, oh, I would have thought that's the whole point in this sort of game. Communication is key. But I tell you what, when you do get one of those games where people actually tactically communicate with each other, oh my good grief, it lifts the game up tenfold. For example, you'll go through a certain amount of games and no one will communicate. This is fine, it does still work. Everyone uses hand signals, which isn't a bad thing. And then you get the games where you're actually playing with players that use their mic. And it's just a game changer. It just feels completely different. Everyone feels in tandem. And I'll say, I have not yet had a bad experience with any of the community. They all seem to be a top tier bunch of ladies and gents. That is a unfortunate positioning. Oh, and just in case you're actually wondering, this is the DLC that I'll be giving away later on in the video. So this is the bundle that we're going to be looking at, the bundle that I have a key for you to $23.99. That's a lot of money saving. I like it. I generally do like it. There's literally one other bundle that I prefer. I mean, all the bundles are pretty decent, to be fair. Love this like color. It's lovely. It really is quite nice. So I got a giveaway for this. Wait until the end of the video ish, and yep, I'll be giving one of them away one way or the other. The other one I like, I don't have a key for this one, unfortunately. I don't have it, even more unfortunately. But look at this. I mean, if you're thinking of purchasing one and you win that key, this is probably the next one I would get. This is awesome. Look at it. I mean, if you don't want this, then let's nip over here. Oh, it's just so lovely, isn't it? Now, them two modes would have been enough for me. I would have been glad just playing this in them two modes and just having a lot of fun with it. And it does work really well. I had some issues with lag here and there, but nothing majorly breakable. When you actually die, it's kind of like that's it. You have to wait until the round starts again, and there's a certain amount of rounds to each full game. Each round you will gain currency for, I guess, how good you've done within that round, and then you can spend them currencies in order to buy better weapons in order to go into the next round, and each of these weapons can be upgraded. You can also get secondary items like your explosive foam, healing serums and things like that. And just in case you're wondering what happens when you get knocked in a round, well, basically you become this invisible apparition and you can go round and kind of help your teammates. If an enemy makes a gunfire, you can see them, but if they don't and they're silent, then you don't see them. But it is kind of helpful here and there. Oh, and a special shout out for the drone. The drone is actually really well done. Possibly the best well done drone I've seen in a lot of games. So as I mentioned earlier on, if this was the only mode going, I would be pretty happy with it. But it's not. There's also a versus mode where you're put in different areas. I think it was quite clever of the devs to put these versus modes in. They're more run and gun, you respawn in them, and they're less tactical, more trying to get the kills in on the enemies, which kind of like gives it more of a fast-paced feel. Which is definitely a welcome aspect once you've played enough of the slower, more tactical version of the Breachers game itself. I did go into these versus modes kind of like thinking this is probably going to be just a tacked on little bit faster mode, but it wasn't. It was well thought out, the actual maps were quite decent and I really did enjoy them. And I definitely think it's elongated my experience with Breachers because I can get both sides of the coin within this bundle of modes, which is obviously good. Just like liking this video and dropping us a subscription. Graphically, I did think that it looked pretty decent, and especially running off the MetaQuest. As I said, there was only a few times that I got a little bit of stuttering, and it wasn't just me, the rest of the team felt the same, as a couple of them mentioned it during the gameplay. No way has this been a game breaker for me. It's hardly noticeable, it doesn't happen very often, and thankfully doesn't last very long. I also felt on the MetaQuest 3 that the maps looked quite decent and they were quite large as well. They were also quite well thought out, and the hub area for me was also a kind of standout area. I also really like this hub. Let's take a look at this hub. Kind of like feel a bit, I mean this is kind of like being in Blade Runner. Lovely. Sound-wise, again, pretty decent. I could hear everything around me as if they were around me. All the guns and the like and the equipment made the proper noise. I did like the zip line type noise. It was weirdly satisfying in a weirdly satisfying way. And the audio from the other players came across really well. Scoring Breachers, I would definitely say that I'm going to give Breachers a 8 out of 10. I definitely think if you're into VR tactical shooters, this is probably a high benchmark of what can be done and also how to do it correctly. Okay, so I think I've made you wait long enough. Let's give away some DLC. Firstly, like and subscribe this video, and second, nip over to our Discord, link is down below. And leave a comment in our general chat section letting me know what your call sign would be if you were actually in Breachers in real life, i.e. like Maverick or Tombstone. Tombstone here. You get the point, don't you? So I'll see you over there, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.